it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. It doesn't matter, as long as his family is happy and stuff, and going down the road and stuff, and being able to, fulfill your dreams and grow, at the next level and develop your skills and stuff. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's let's talk a little bit about the Hoover Thompson rivalry. And that game there is just that, you know you can throw out the records, throw out you know the Hoovers going to game 4 and 5. Thompson's 8-1. You can throw throw that out. I mean,
Yeah.
what you got to look at is not just the records. It's more so of it's always been a tradition. It's always been a battle, and
Yeah. Rivalry.
yeah, the rivalry,
Rivalry. Pride.
and
Pride. Who's like Alabama Auburn counts.
yep,
No matter what the
and,
records are, good game.
yep. Right now you got Hoover's kind of down. They're not where they used to be, and whatnot. They're not used to having 5 losses this time of the year, and they're not used to that. But regardless of the fact, it's they're going to play. They're about to play. You know Thompson, and it does. It doesn't matter. That game is always a matter of who wants it more,
Yeah. True.
and it's they're playing at the Hoover Met, and it's always hard to win at the Met. I mean, that's you say people say they want to, but playing at the Met is a very tough environment,
I agree 100%.
and and I just think it's gonna be. I'm gonna give my prediction of the game, and
All right.
I gotta go. Um, I gotta go 31-17 Thompson. It is too much firepower.
I go 28-14 Thompson.
And the one change that is going to happen in the game, um, at quarterback for Hoover, you're going to see a new quarterback back there. At quarterback,
All right.
it's going to be uh, Jonah Winston will start at quarterback.
Oh, the four-star.
Yep,
Four-star, the brother of.
Jameis Winston will start at
Yep.
quarterback, and now I will say those kids, you know, they rather. I'm gonna tell you, if there's one thing I do know about Hoover football, those kids rally behind Jonah Winston,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna be close at the half, and I think the special teams is gonna be, make a difference. It's gonna be a big play here, big play there that changes the game. I'm interested to see how Hoover DBs match up with the receivers that Thompson has. I mean, because they got 3, 4 receivers that can beat you at any time, and then with two running backs, you can't sit here and load the box. You can't sit here and do any of that stuff. Um, so it's going to be interesting how Hoover plays. Compare matches up with what they're doing.
So is Jared playing this week, or he's gonna be playing this Friday, right?
Yeah, he can play this Friday. Me personally, and this is my take on it. I say he may not play this week, only to get him catch, figure out defense, whatnot, and plus because Freeman is one of those guys, he ain't gonna show his hand.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, you ain't gonna get a chance to see where he's gonna line up at.
Okay.
Now, I could be wrong now.
So if he does play, you think he's gonna be a game changer? You think he's gonna kind of have to kind of get used to the guys around him? How do you see him if he does play? Like,
I say he's gonna be a game changer.
yeah,
I mean, I really do. I mean, you just adding one more, big, big play, on defense.
it's gonna be interesting to see. To me, how a whole different environment for him. I mean, football is football, but at the same time, he's got to come, get used to everything, everybody around Thompson. So I'm just curious to see how his first game goes.
Yep. I'm just, I mean, it's I'm just wondering, that's where he's gonna line up at. That's gonna be, the key.
Yeah.
And and I mean, I just wonder where he's gonna line up at, and what he's gonna do, you know, and that's gonna be the key, to where, like I said, where he lines up at, what position, and and so forth. But I think wherever he lines up at, he's gonna be he's gonna be a problem. And I mean, I just think he's very, like I said, the kid's very dynamic, and he's he's very dynamic, and he's a player. I mean, and Dex, quite naturally, I mean, if you're a player, if you can play this game and stuff, you know they don't make it difficult for you. And
Yeah.
they, if he plays, then if he plays, tomorrow, I mean, I'm sorry, tomorrow, if he plays on Friday, he may play in special packages.
Yeah.
And you know he may play in special packages and stuff, just enough to get his feet wet, get him acclimated, whatnot. And then
Yeah.
after that, hey, it's all
Turn him,
turn him loose.
turn him loose after that.
Yeah. And so I mean, I just, like I said, either way it goes, Dex, I just think he's gonna be, he's gonna be a game changer. And people, um, you know, people get mad about it.
What I had to learn in the recruiting game and stuff like that. Football, you're not gonna be able to make everybody happy. So, and that's what I had to figure out. So, he's like I said, his parents, made a decision, and that's what they got to go with, no matter what everybody says. So you just gotta push forward and don't worry about everybody else. So that's one thing I had to learn to do.
Yep. And I'm having a little problem with I'm trying to copy something for let's save the screen because that's good. I'm trying to have a little problem with getting something to show up. But I think I got it now. Okay. And so and that's why I think Dex it's gonna be a game changer. It can change the whole game and whatnot. Let's go and look ahead to this here Mount Brook and the Mount Brook and um, um, no, I mean the Helena and Benjamin Russell game.
Yeah.
That game there, Benjamin Russell has one of the top playmakers in the state, the receiver. And I got a chance to watch Helena play the other night. Helena has, a pretty good team. They're well rounded, very well coached, and I just think that it's going to be, going to come down. It's going to come down to the game. Um, it's going to come down to who wants it more, and it's going to come down to that. And I think not only that, I think the other thing too is I think it's going to be the kicking game. Now, what I saw the other night, they don't have a good kicking game. That's Benjamin Russell.
Yeah.
And so that that may come down to the deciding factor.
Yeah. Benjamin Russell has another receiver that people don't talk about. It's Darian Morgan. He's like 6'5".
Yeah.
So I think it's a couple of FBS offers. So I don't know how he's doing this year. So he may kind of be a game changer as well. I don't know how they implement him in the offense yet. But I think he could be a deciding factor as well. But I still, like you said, I think Helena should be able to win this game though. So.
Yep. I think so too. I mean,
like I said, you never know. That's why they play the game. But on paper, from what you have seen, what I have seen, Helena should win. So.
Yeah, Helena should be. They should, and this thing of, once again, this is whereas who wants it more.
Yeah.
And
in this one game, not to interrupt you, go ahead. It's one game I think we should talk about as well that we didn't go over. Center Point at Oxford.
Well, that's you're right about that.
Well, Center Point is actually really good, and nobody really talks about that. They're like 7-1. I think the only team that lost to was Clay Chalkwell, I think. So I've had a chance to watch Oxford 2 to 3 times this year. So it just depends on which Oxford team shows up, and I haven't watched Center Point. So I think this is going to decide the second and third place in the region. So, like I said, this is going to decide who's really going to in this game.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree too with that. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I'm glad you're not picking that game because I don't know who I will pick in that game.
Exactly. I mean that's a tough one to pick.
Yeah.
And if I had to pick that one, I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go Center Point.
Yeah, I haven't watched them play, so I don't know who I would pick. Like I said, I watched Oxford, and every time Oxford plays, it's like a different team kind of shows up. Like they play actually really good against Clay Chalkwell. With Pale City, I'm not gonna say Pale City got lucky or anything, but they played Oxford really well. Oxford had to fight for that victory, so it just depends on the Oxford team shows up.
Yeah. And and that's part of things with everybody these days. It's a matter of, like you said, what team shows up.
Yeah.
And I mean, you may have that team that shows up that just you ready to play today. You may have the team that shows up that hey, I really want to get out of bed.
Yeah. And I think that's what PLC Hawks and PLC really ready to go. I mean, they played lights out that game. So
And and Dex, don't get me wrong, is I'm just wondering, you know, I'm just wondering, if Oscar kind of overlooked, some of the games.
I think they probably did because the PLC was kind of down. This is my opinion. Like call it a trap game where paper beat these guys off the field. And the PLC we got a different players, so they showed.
Exactly. What about the game this week? Nobody thought that would happen. Speaking of Spain Park beats Hewitt handily.
He beat them bad.
I understand that game was close, and it was really close up until the last. Then they broke the game open. And that's one of those teams too. Hewitt. When I saw him play against Thompson, I was like, oh man, they ain't ready.
Yeah.
Then they played Vestavia and blew Vestavia out, and I was like, man, they might be the second best team. They granted they did finish. I think they're a second region. But um, but it's like it's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. That's like we best take the beat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And but it is one. Like I said, it is one of those things that you don't know what's gonna happen.
So if you had a surprise team like that, just like dang, I know that good this year. What was that team?
Probably Gadsden.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly, probably Gadsden City.
I think for me, because Central Clay, they don't have superstar athletes. They're down in the country. And every year Moore has those kids. But that's my surprise. I mean,
well, you know what? Dex, I didn't think about that.
So they don't have a good running back, but they don't have any 3-star, 4-star players on their team. They run the wishbone sometimes. And so to me, that's just like my surprise team because they've really been having business like big time. So I was like surprised to see that this year.
That's and you're right. I mean, you're right about that. I mean, I'm surprised too. They having a good year too. I mean, what's their record?
They're like, they're undefeated. They didn't win by large margin. So I think the biggest test for Haley, Haley's a 40 team. They is ranked in the top 5 as they beat them like 31-6.
Wow.
I think it's the day of the playoff. The season ended today. I think Great Christian Academy will have to travel to Clay County. So, and that'll be a kind of a hard first round game.
Yeah, that is a tough one there. I mean, when you start to look at that is a tough one. And what about let me ask you another question. Speaking of that, what would you think? Well, how would you look at the you look at the ins and outs of this year and you
Uh,
look at what this year has really done, you know, what would be your surprise, not this team, this surprise thing that's happened this year? Of course, the Jared Smith will be the surprise of everything. But
yeah.
what else will be a surprise that you've seen this year?
Seeing Hoover and Piedmont drop out of the rankings. I think it's the first time in maybe what 5, 10 years that either team has been ranked. Each week. So that's my biggest surprise as far as high school football teams. As far as players, I think to me, the Rivers key quarterback down at what's the name of that school? Is that Rivers coaches at?
Oh, down in South Alabama?
Yeah, he's having a great year.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me. I ain't gonna say he came out of nowhere, but nobody didn't really know who his son was. He's been spinning it really well. So
I'm gonna tell you my surprise. Really, I've already known how good Jalen Barkley is. I've been
oh
knowing
yeah,
since middle school, but for them to be undefeated, ranked number 2 in the state, him at quarterback, at first early in the year, I kind of get second guess that because I'm like, he playing quarterback, he's not getting, he's limited the way he can do, but
yeah,
their offense actually fits his style of play.
yeah. You right about that. Like I said firsthand, and he didn't really have like game that against Thompson. He didn't have just Oxford, but he was pretty much the general in the field for the offense. He did really well. They batted around with these. He was actually a team player. I thought he was going to be like a fun first time kid, but he actually played ball a little bit more than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's a very unselfish kid. I would say that
Yeah,
he's very unselfish. I've been knowing for a long time. He's not selfish at all, and he actually tries to spread the wealth around to all of his teammates. He tries to make everybody better.
yeah.
And
And I seen it Friday night, so exactly correct about that.
if there's a young kid out here that really caught your eye, who you say it would be?
Uh, so for me, it would be actually two kids. PJ Holloway out of White Plains. A lot of people don't know where White Plains is located. It was located in Anniston. It's a linebacker at St. Paul's. We are aliens. He will knock your head off. He's not the biggest kid. I did 2 clips of him, and he hits harder than he's harder than I've ever seen. For a 27 kid, he hits harder than a lot of seniors right now. Those are my two.
Mine has to be, everybody gives, you know, you give all this credit, everybody gives all the credit to when you look at it, to Sam Brown. You hear Cole Gamble, Clay Chalkwood, Mabah Clay, Thompson, even though he's a young kid, Trent Seaborn. But the one kid that's really has stepped up, for me at Thompson is a sophomore, you know, and Noah Hicks. And the reason I say that because it's hard playing corner and being a sophomore on the island by yourself and lining up week in, week out with top receivers. He's held his own. He's really had, a really great time. Another young kid that nobody knows about, and he's only an eighth grader. Drew Jackson, quarterback at ACA.
So
He's a backup quarterback. He plays a lot. That kid can really spin it, and he's a dual threat guy. and kid's really he's really special. He's gonna be huge down the road,
Okay.
and this kid to watch. Um, I'll tell you who else, Chris Davis' son. He was trustful. He played eighth grade ball, but he also dressed with varsity and gets some varsity reps too. That kid's that kid's gonna be special. And there's a lot of young talent out here in the state.
I did a cut up on the 28 kid. He sings one night at Bakersfield. I can't remember his name, even or not, but man, that kid's gonna be really good too. So he's definitely gonna play. So he starts varsity. I mean, he's a running back. I mean, he really is good. So
Mexico always has players down there. People don't realize it. Tommy Agee, Harold Morrow, they've always had players down there. It's just one of those situations that one gets to. But they really have. There's another young kid. Also, there's two other young kids as defensive end at Thompson named Cam Pritchard. Cam is a ninth grader. He's got about 8 or 9 Power 5 offers. Then there's a ninth grader over at Moody. Can't remember his name, but he's gonna be good too. And this looking at this thing's gonna be Powell for a while. Now I'm interested to see what's gonna happen coming up with this NIL stuff. Is the state gonna do this right and go ahead and pass it, or they're gonna influence the kid moving to Georgia? And yeah, but the two fool behind that is you move to Georgia and you're a 4-star here that equates to almost like a 3-star in Georgia. And
that's what I'm trying to tell people. Not saying that the Alabama kids aren't good. Georgia kids are different. Somebody called me out on Facebook. Saying they eventually apologize, but at the same time, I think they kind of misunderstood what I was saying. I was saying, if somebody from Alabama goes to Georgia, the business people don't really know who you are. So why would they put the money into somebody they don't know?
Yep.
The kids it's just a different breed over there. So you got to really work. So.
Well, here's the other thing too, and sad to say this, but it's true, and it's need to be touched on. If a kid gets a big NIL deal to any state, whether it's Georgia, California, whatever, a high school kid, like say from Alabama, you know that it's because of the fact that the boosters from universities are behind that.
Yeah.
And because like you said, no businesses are going to go out here and put this kind of money behind a kid that they have no idea who it is.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets kind of messy at, because you go take the NIL deal from say you're a kid, for example, I'm going to use Mississippi and Alabama. Mississippi got NIL and Alabama doesn't. A kid goes to Mississippi, get NIL deal to say he's going to go to Chattahoochee State in Mississippi. I'm not going to make a name up. I'm not going to mention his school, but he goes there, takes that NIL deal, and takes that money. Now he's in a situation where he does that, and he don't go to that school.
Yeah.
Now you look at that situation that it's like that, and what I'm gonna do next, right now, I'm gonna bring Tory Ward on. Tory's a receiver at over at Helena High School, because I want Tory to kind of talk about just the what's the big this game coming up right here, what it means for the people over in in Helena.
All right.
And this because of the fact that Helena hasn't been it's been a long time. Helena's never been undefeated at this point, and they they've never gotten over the hump, and they got now they're at that point and stuff, and uh, they got a chance, finishing undefeated in in the region. I mean, on the season, and there it goes again. They don't have all these 4 or 5 star kids. They got a great running back, a first year quarterback who's getting the job done. They got receivers, and but it's whereas you know they're well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They're well coached, and it's like they do everything right.
Right.
And and I went on Tori to join live now, and but they're doing everything right over there, and Coach Busby doing a heck of a job, getting those kids where they need to be, and you know I always you know look at Helena, it's new, fairly new school, and I remember when the merger took place when they sit here and um, Helena and Pelham, they you know they split up because it used to be all the Helena kids went to Pelham also, and you see now where they are, and uh, and you see where they are now, and you look at it, it's not to say anything bad, but you look at it, Pelham's doing well right now this year. Now,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
hold on a second. They're doing well. Now, if I had to, you said surprise team that if I had to say, if the most disappointing team, I know you said um, Tom Hoover and who's the other team you said?
A Piedmont.
Piedmont. I gotta say Calera.
Okay.
I watched Calera play the other night, and believe it or not, it's uh, Clear on the verge of going 0-10 on the year.
Oh wow.
Clear has never been on 0-10, and you know they I was looking at it, and they got beat by Helena tonight 49 nothing, and it's like those kids have quit. You know, it's like the coaches have put on them, the kids put on the coaches. It's 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 bad.
Man, man, right.
Yeah, and I mean that's it's I mean it's bad because I mean the whole culture now is bad. I mean you look at it. I mean just the body language of the crowd. Everybody. It just I mean it's like I'm not you're not used to seeing that.
Yeah.
A clear team, and you know you want to be see a team that's at least competitive.
Yeah.
My thing is if you go out here, you go 0-10. If you're competitive, that says a lot.
Yeah.
That you're putting effort there. It ain't no effort. I mean, it's like you can tell those coaches lost their team. Um, like the coaches lost their team or whatnot, and you know, and trying to get Corey on, so he said he can get on. Considering the request, and But you know, like the coaches have lost that team and stuff, and that's just really you know it's bad. Now where is you over that way? There's where is James Blanchard at now?
Where's
I mean Fran Blanchard.
I don't know if he's coaching anymore. So we Facebook friends. I know he does stuff at Jack State. I think he's just one.
Yeah, I mean I'm sorry, not Fran. I mean James.
James.
Yeah,
James Blanchard, the coach.
the brother. Yeah,
He's at Westbrook Christian.
yeah.
He left Coach Smith to went to Westbrook.
Where was it?
It's an Admiral County. It's the same Brody Cole. I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And
it's coming in. It's close to like how what Glencoe is.
yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, he turned. It's a road you turn like left before you get to Glencoe. So that's how you get to Westbrook. So.
Okay. Let's before we get out here. Let's touch base on a little college football.
All right.
Looking at the Bama Tennessee game, it was a tale of two halves.
Yeah.
I was there and seeing how first the people that's like this and this grunt and stuff, and in the second half it's like I don't know if Coach Saban went in the locker room and went in the locker room and thought about the old Coach Saban and just going off on don't care who you going off on. I don't know if that was the case. Or what it was, but they came out in the second half, a totally different team. And it was, a totally different team. And they went out and it's completely what
He's like Curtis Jessens had one of his children out. I can't say that word, but he's notorious for it. But like I said, it was two totally different hands. They pretty much came out and put the foot on the gas
and it was, that was my thing. It was like, they didn't. There was no. We're gonna sit here and play around for a second, whatever. It was all business.
Yeah.
And
totally different.
Yeah, it was totally different. And with the way they go, it's gonna be interesting. Next Saturday, that game at LSU, and that's gonna be a big game. But what's kind of crazy about it, they supposed that. Now you got tie in the SEC. Now you got to hope LSU. I'm sorry. You got to hope Ole Miss loses because Ole Miss beat LSU, and so they're not going to jump ahead of Ole Miss and Ole. The SEC takes the highest team. So even though Bama gets the tiebreaker or whatever, the higher ranked team goes to the SEC championship, and it's a lot riding in the game next week. Now the one game I'm interested in is two. This weekend Georgia, Florida. I don't. I'm not counting Florida out.
Yeah.
And Brock Bowers being out, that's a lot of your offense. I'm not counting them, out. But also, I'm not counting out down the road too, Missouri.
They really surprised a lot of
people. That may be the surprise team in the SEC, and with the job that Coach Saban doing the this year. But if I had to name it year, it's gonna be Drinkwish at Missouri too.
Yeah, because they're undefeated, right?
No, they got one loss.
Okay, one loss.
Yeah, but
that's one more thing before we get off. What about Auburn? What's your take on Auburn? I still think they're a couple of years away. What do you think?
I think they're a couple of way and position way. For me that is quarterback one. I'm one of those people. Whereas I'm like let Robbie have to play
Yeah.
because he's going to be your best man. Thorne's not the answer.
Yeah.
You know,
quarterbacks in and out each series, they can't really
rhythm, yeah. And I think they're playing. They I think NIL is catching up with them because what it is, you got all these guys there out the portal, and whatnot, and they got to play. You got younger guys there that are better than the ones that came out the portal. And so I'm a big fan of Marty Kelly, and I think he should be playing. But I'm not the coach. I'm not Coach Freed. I'm not making the millions. But the defense was scrappy, but defense can't stand the field. When your offense is going three and out. So it's hard to do that. And that's another thing. I just think they're years away. What about UAB? That's another one that's hard for me to swallow right now. I was there to play South Florida, and South Florida is horrible. They are, but you'll be putting numbers up, but then they turn around and lose the teams they shouldn't lose to.
Yeah,
but
it's like they're up and down.
Yeah, but see, there goes again. Dex, even with that, there goes again. Even with that, it's a thing to me of whereas he's gonna have to have time to get his players in there to run that offense.
Yeah, sure, I agree with that. And too, players that have been adjusted to the coaching staff adjusted to them.
Yep.
Even though they could be, say used to each other right now, it's gonna take some time. But like I say, he just got to get his type of guys the kind of offense and defense that he feels most comfortable with. He gets those guys in there. So I think they probably about a year to go back to what they used to.
Yep. Well, Dex, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. So this week's show and whatnot.
All right.
And next week, we're gonna be getting ready, for the playoffs. You look at it, it's about that time.
I think 2 more weeks. I think this is some of these games in the tournament region championships. Then I know next week. I know here, I think most of the big plays over this week, right?
Mm-hmm. Like this is the last regular season game for like say Thompson and Hoover. They had a break. Next week they're off, and they're off in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. You have a good night, okay?
All right. You too.